Hi guys, I'm here with Peter Youll, new signing to Billingham, came over from West Hartlepool. Nice to have you on board, Peter. How are you finding it the first week? You've had a full week now training.
Yes, my second full week. It's been really good, really interesting, challenging, particularly coming back after Christmas and New Year. It was putting me through my paces last week, but I've been made feel really welcome. A lot of the lads have really looked after us, and I feel comfortable where I am at the moment.
Is the training different from what it was at West? You know, like I'm about the physical side or the fitness side.
I think the way the season's been going at West, there was maybe a bit more emphasis on contact, whereas Billingham it's a little bit more handling, phase play. There's a lot of the same principles, but I suppose just the sheer numbers that there is at the moment. I think there was like 42 at one session last week, which obviously with that sort of numbers you can do an awful lot more. So that's probably the main difference.
You came over, and as it happened, you got your first run out for Billingham. Not the greatest away at Tyndale.
Yeah.
You had a strong team out. How did you find that?
It was probably a little bit of baptism of fire. I think any time you go up to Tyndale, you expect a strong team, and that's exactly what we got. Perhaps what I'm told is that the team that Billingham Lions had on the day maybe wasn't as strong as they've had.
The first team had called 3 players up.
I think so, yeah. So maybe I came into a team that was maybe a little bit jumbled up, which was probably quite nice for me in a way, because I didn't feel that I was the odd one out like quite as much as I might have. But I enjoyed it. It was nice to play with like some familiar faces, but even just meeting a new group of lads was quite good. And the game itself, although we were on the back foot, I didn't think that we were totally out of the game. It's just that they capitalised on all of the chances and took them. The game was actually a pretty good contest.
Going about like familiar faces, I mean, you've been around a lot of the lads through the county,
yeah,
and especially now where you've been the county captain last year. You know,
yeah.
what I mean, there was still a few lads from Billingham who was there, so it's not as great as when going into the new club, is it?
No, there's probably maybe 10 people who I know fairly well. I've known people like Dan Westall and obviously Peter Evans since we were kids.
Yeah.
So I can lean on people like that. Obviously there's lads from Hartlepool, the likes of Jordan Folds, who used to play with me at West. Kieran Clark, who's from Hartlepool, who I've played with through the county for the past couple of seasons, who, you know, have just helped, you know, introducing me and make me feel, you know, more at home.
Well, we'll touch on the West thing, you know what I mean? You've been there since junior.
Yeah.
It must have been a wrench for you. The decision for you to make to come across here must have been soul destroying for you.
Yeah, I don't know, I feel like I've maybe been a bit melodramatic about it, you know, and talking, but genuinely a really heartbreaking decision. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and maybe weighing up the pros and the cons in my own mind, and always being able to say, well, actually, you know, I'm happy where I am. But I just think maybe at the age I am and the stage I am in my career, it's got to a point where I needed to make the move, and at the moment I think I've maybe done the right thing.
It'd also be nice as well, you know what I mean, because I presume you won't be here all the time. You will go back to West, you know.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll also send you back as a better player, which then will benefit West again, I presume.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the way I see things going. I got to a point maybe this season and a little bit last where I just didn't feel like I didn't have the pressure on myself that I want to have as a player. I want basically a lot of competition. I want to be as fit as I can possibly be, and I want to learn more about the game. So absolutely, and from what I can hear, I think West hopefully they're turning a bit of a corner, and I think they can hopefully have a positive end to their season. And you know, in the future, I hope that we're both in a.
Well, I've kept up with the West this year, and you know what I mean, and to see that they brought a lot of young kids through, which will only benefit the club as far as us at Billingham can see, because we do that here.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you have to take a backward step to go forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just been a really strange transition. Obviously, they achieved promotion last year, we achieved promotion, and then all of a sudden the old guard, if you like, sort of a generation of players, all of a sudden stopped playing, and I think a lot of the younger talent have been thrown in the deep end, which is great learning experience for them, but it is a really steep learning curve, and maybe for a few people it's just been too much too soon. But definitely I think a positive end to this season, and then next season you know, maybe in the same league or maybe in the league below, I think.
And push on for promotion if needs be.
Yeah, definitely. I think the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to see a lot of players who get into their mid-20s as very experienced.
There's a lot of talent at West.
Huge amount.
You know, even in the Colts, you know what I mean, like I said, we hear about it, you know what I mean, and then the under-16s who are under them who are going to Colts next year, you know what I mean, they have a lot of talent in that age group as well. So like you're saying, in the couple of years,
they've got a full junior section, which, as everyone knows, means if you've got a full junior section, you get that reinforcement of numbers every year through into your senior sides. And I think there was a couple of years, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, where we didn't have an academy or a Colts team, and I think that's maybe part of the reason why West is struggling for people at the moment, because we've got a lot of players at sort of back end of the 20s, early 30s, and then we don't have anyone, and then there's a huge amount of players who are around 20, which just means, you know, we need those players to move on through.
Well, we personally at Billingham wish West all the best for the future, you know what I mean, and hope they crack on. Now, on yourself, personal goals, what's your goals for the rest of the season?
Well, first things first, you know, I want to be part of the first team. I want to be part of a squad that's hopefully mounting a challenge to win the North Premier and achieve promotion. And I know, obviously, everyone at this club I think shares the same aspiration, but I've moved over to be part of that. I'm already seeing the fact that there's unbelievable competition for places, which is a good thing. I do see that as a good thing.
It's shown, hasn't it, as well, the lads who came for us this year. You know, I mean, we've had 3 or 4 this season who signed, like Joe Broxbury, Connor Foley, Kieran Clark. You know, they've had to bide the time. You know, and eventually you do get your chance. You know, so you know the door's there for you. You know, I presume you've spoken with Peter since you've signed, and Peter's set out what the aims are with our club.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, it's quite a daunting task. You know, you're coming into a team that prior to the weekend had won 13 out of 13 games. You know, logic would say, well, you don't change a winning team, and that may be true, but in rugby everyone experiences injuries. You do need a big player pool, and you know, hopefully if I get an opportunity I can come in and you know, show what I'm about.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you'll get a shout. You know what I mean? So I wish you all the best, mate. All right, take care.
Thank you.